Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Happy day one of Vlogmas! Yay! Today I'm going to come to you with my December 2017 TBR. Oh, I'm so excited about my TBR. I always get excited about my TBRs, but I am extra excited because it's my December Christmas TBR. So, as per usual, if you are new to my channel, every month I participate in the Triple RC Challenge, which is the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. Every month they do a monthly challenge where they give you 10 categories and you need to fit books into those categories. So that's how I pick my TBR every month. I am addicted to challenges, and during Vlogmas I am going to be doing an entire video on the challenges that I'm going to be participating in 2018, so stay tuned for that as well. But yes, I do love challenges. I don't do read-alongs. I tend not to do read-alongs or read-a-thons. Read-a-thons is the word I'm looking for. Even though that's the same idea where they give you kind of a category and you need to pick a book, just because it's a shorter time span, I think. But yeah, anyway, needless to say, 10 categories. So what I did for this one is, not only did I have to pick books that fit into these categories, but every single one of these books is Christmas themed. So, yay me. Normally one of these TBRs can take me a couple hours depending on, when I sit down and start looking around and seeing what I've got. This one took me, I think it spanned over 2 days, because it did take me a little bit longer to do, trying to find the books that were not only fit the category, but were also Christmas themed. Plus I had a list of about 3 books that I desperately wanted to get to in December that were Christmas themed, and I had to be able to fit those into the categories. So let's jump in and get started. Category number 1 is D for December. Read a book that starts with D or whose author's first or last name start with D. This one was really, really easy. The book that I had on my TBR is Dear Santa by Templeton. This is the first book in the Guys and Daughters series, and it's a Harlequin special edition romance novel. It is a single father story. And yeah, I've had it on my TBR for a while, and I thought perfect chance to read it. Category number 2. This is one that kind of gave me a little bit of trouble. It was a little frustrating, to say the least. It's Happy Anniversary. Read a book that was published in December of any year, or read a book by a Triple RC member who joined in December of any year. I always actually go with the member, because I really like going onto that feature and doing the compare books and seeing what books I have in common with other members and, stuff like that. Again, I said I had a list of 3 books that I want to read in December. One of them was this one. And I thought it's a more popular book. I'm like, it's got to be on somebody else's TBR. It's a romance novel. So I'm going through all the members who joined in December of 2016, every single one. And I even passed Christine from Kizzy Reads, I love her channel, and Sissy from the Romance Queen of BookTube. They joined like on the same day in December of 2016. And neither one of them had it on their TBR. When I saw their pictures come up, I thought, great, yes, they must have it on their... No, they did not have this book on their TBR. I had to go all the way to December of 2015 before I found somebody. And the book is Miracle on Fifth Avenue by Sarah Morgan. This is narrated on audio. This will be an audiobook by Jennifer Woodward. And this is the 3rd book in the From Manhattan with Love series. I cannot wait to read this book. There are 6 books in total in the From Manhattan with Love series. 2 books and then this Christmas book. And then there will be 2 more books that take place at various times of the year. And then another Christmas book, which I think is called Moonlight Over Manhattan, is the 6th book. So my game plan is that next year is to read the next 2 books, like books 4 and 5, and then read book number 6 next December. So yes, it took a little bit of hunting. You get to that point where you're either going to give up or die trying. Do you know what I mean? That phrase? And I was not giving up. I'm like, I will find someone who has this on their list. And believe me, at one point I thought, tell me this book was published in December, because if it was published in December, I can fit it in. Nope, published in November of last year, so that didn't even work. But anyway, I finally made it work. Category number 3 is Featured Author Challenge, and this month's featured author is Elizabeth Hoyt. I looked at her books. She wrote 1 Christmas book, I think, and I think it's like halfway through a series, so that was disappointing. But they do give you other options if you cannot find anything by that author that you enjoy. And it is read a book you were... Oh, wait, sorry, reading the next challenge. Read a book by this month's featured author, or by any author with her first or last name. And I even looked on my TBR for authors named Elizabeth, or with the first name Elizabeth, and nothing. It also says you may read a book set in Minnesota, or a historical or contemporary romance. They left the gates wide open. I'm like, contemporary romance. So I went on my library's website for audiobooks and I typed in Christmas into the search bar. And then I further broke it down by romance novels. And then I further broke it down by audiobooks. And I found this one. And it's a Debbie Macomber. And I'm very excited about it. It is Starry Night by Debbie Macomber. This is narrated on audio by Rebecca Lohman. This sounds like a second chance romance novel. The cover is stunning. And Debbie Macomber is the queen of Christmas, in my opinion. And I cannot wait to read this book. It's on hold right now at the library on audio. I think it told me when I put on hold earlier last week that it was like a 3-week wait, which is perfectly fine. I have enough to read before that one comes in. Category number 4, Small Business Saturday. December 2nd is Small Business Saturday. Read a book that you received from somewhere other than a major retail outlet. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target. Or a book that is short, under 150 pages, or doesn't have a lot of ratings. It has to be under 4,000 ratings. This is another one that was on my list of books I want to read in December, and that is Mr. Dickens and His Carole by Samantha Silva. This is being narrated on audio by Ewan Morton. This is essentially the story of Charles Dickens. It's a historical fiction novel, the story of Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol. And it sounds so good. I saw this come up, I think, in October or even August or September or something like that on Amazon, that it was coming soon. The cover drew me in, and I love A Christmas Carol story, and I'm so much looking forward to this book. And yeah, I am thoroughly thrilled. Oh, and the ratings, it only has 185 ratings on Goodreads, so it fit the category. Next up, category number 5, December the 4th, Wear Brown Shoes Day. Read a book that has shoes on the cover, or has brown, or has the color brown on the cover, or a book with a character in the fashion industry, or a book with an author with the B for the first letter of their first or last name. That's a lot to say. The book I am going to be reading is Breakfast with Santa, and it's by Pamela Browning. Browning works. Not only does it start with a B, but her last name starts with the word Brown. This is a Harlequin American romance story, and it is a single mother story. And it's about a young boy and his mom, and he's in school, and this ex-Marine is playing Santa Claus, and the story goes from there. So, sounds like a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to read it. That cover just gets me in the feels. I just think it's so stinking adorable. I absolutely love it. Category number 6, December the 13th, which is National Violin Day. Read a book with a character in the music industry, or a book with a musical event, or a book whose title sounds beautiful, or a cover that looks beautiful to you. The book I'm going to be reading is another one that I had on my list of 3 books, because this is the beginning of a series, and I wanted to get this one started so I could read some more books in the series next year. And that is Snow Angel Cove by RaeAnne Thayne. This is being narrated on audio by Celeste Kalua, I think. Kalua, and it is the first book in the Haven Point series. That cover, take out all the text, like the author's name, New York Times bestseller, the title. I would absolutely put that on my wall as a painting. Is it not stunning? I mean, I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. So yes, very much looking forward to this story as well. Category number 7. December 21st is National Flashlight Day. Read a book with a light source on the cover, or a book with a character that is bright, smart, or shiny and happy, however you want to interpret bright, or a character who gets naked a lot, flashes their goods. I love the way these are written out. The book I am going to be reading is Burning Bright, and this is a Harlequin American romance novel, but it's 3 short novellas within this book, and it's written by Judith Arnold, Anne Stuart, and Maggie Shayne. I read this book back in 2004 when it was first released. Back then, I actually used to get the physical subscription boxes from Harlequin. I used to get these, like, 4 American romance books every month. And I distinctly remember reading this one because I read it in the hospital. I was in, I think, for the first time I was having arrhythmia issues. And my mom's like, do you want me to get any mail for you? Because I was living on my own at the time. And she picked up my mail for me and brought it to me. And this was one of the books. So I thought, okay, it's just 3 short little novellas. And I think I finished it in like a day and a half. What I love about this now, for those of you who participated in the book club for, was it September or October? that we read Sleep with the Lights On by Maggie Shayne. Please note, this is a completely different story than that one. These are true, sweet, little romance stories about the holidays. And what I love is that it's 3 different holidays. So the story by Judith Arnold is your typical Christmas Christian story. The second story by Anne Stuart is a Jewish story about Hanukkah, which sounds super exciting, or is, I remember really enjoying it. And the story by Maggie Shayne is actually about the winter solstice. Now, I don't know, don't quote me, but from what I understand, I believe that Maggie Shayne is actually practicing pagan. So she knows her stuff when she's writing this story. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked looking at the different cultures and different things that they believe and things like that. And I just thought this was so different. And even, now this was a book that was written in 2004, which was what? 14, 15, 16, 13 years ago? You know, so I mean, things are a lot different now than they were then. And I think that this story itself, published by a major publishing house like Harlequin, which really tries to do things like to keep everybody happy kind of idea, like don't rock the boat, to publish a story, you know, a standard story that would contain those kind of elements. Not that they're bad, because believe me, I do a lot of reading about religion and things like that, and I know really what paganism is about, but for them to publish something like that is just, I think it's awesome, and I'm really looking forward to rereading this one. I came across it for the Kindle, and I'm really looking forward to it. Category number 8 is December 24th, which is, of course, Christmas Eve. Read a holiday romance or a book set in winter. Any of these books that I'm reading this month could absolutely fit into this category. But I was looking on my library's website for audiobooks taking place at Christmas time, and I ran across this one, and I put it on hold. Again, it's one that's not due for another couple weeks, but that's fine. And it's What Light by J. Asher. And this is narrated on audio by Amanda Siegfried. I heard a lot of people talking about this book last year on BookTube, and the cover drew me in. And I've seen it in my local Walmart lately. I guess they reissued it, you know, for the holiday season again. It's a YA romance, from what I understand, a YA contemporary, about a girl whose family runs a Christmas tree farm, and the boy that she falls in love with. And it just sounds adorable. The cover looks really nice. Now, I know that there were a lot of mixed reviews about this book on BookTube. Some people really liked it, some people really did not. So I am looking forward to reading it myself and seeing what I think about it. And category number 9, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Read a book by a new-to-you author, or a book you would want to curl up on the couch with. Well, this is a new-to-me author. I had it on my TBR. The cover is stinking adorable. And that is Mistletoe on Main Street by Olivia Miles. This is the first book in the Briar Creek series, so it's nice to be able to start another series. Yeah, I don't know. I picked this one up, I think it was $1.99 on Amazon. And in case you guys are ever curious, if you follow me on Goodreads, I have a separate shelf for just Christmas TBR. If you're ever interested to see all the Christmas books that I have, because I do have a lot of them, you can go on and check that out. Once I've read a book that takes place at Christmas time, I shelve it on just my Christmas shelf. So when I'm going to do things like this, like pick my TBR, it's very easy just for me to click on that Christmas TBR shelf and see everything that I've labeled as Christmas. So it makes it really easy for me to pick from. So that's why I picked this one. And last but not least, of course, category number 10 is Reader's Choice, and it's read any book of your choosing. This was the hardest one, surprisingly, to find something for, because I was going through my TBR for Christmas stuff, and I'm like, either the book was part of a series, or, you know, I really want another audiobook, because I'd like to try and actually have more audiobooks than ebooks to read every month, because, and I get a lot of my audiobooks from the library too, if at all possible, or I'll get them on Audible, worst case scenario, and, I wanted another, audiobook, because there are 3 other books I'm going to be talking about that are all ebooks, so that's taking up some of my ebook reading time. But I think it's a nice mix, right? So I'm looking, I couldn't find anything. I was getting really frustrated, and then I went on the Let's Read list that I have, the big spreadsheet that I've been keeping track of all year. That was done by, I think it's Richard Reads, and they have a space now for series. So when you're reading a book in a series, you can mark what the next one is and whether you own it or not and what have you. So I was going through and reading the titles of the next book in the series, and I came across this one and I went, oh my gosh, but I don't own this book, which is why it wasn't on my TBR. I only put things on my TBR that I actually own. So now I can see how that might pose a problem. But anyway, I ran across this one. I went, oh my gosh, check the library. The library had a copy of it available on audio, so I snatched it right up. Drum roll, please. The book is The Trouble with Mistletoe by Jill Shalvis. Narrated on audio by, of course, the unbelievably amazing Karen White. This is the second book in the Heartbreaker Bay series. So I read the first book earlier this year. I am so thrilled that I was able to find this book to read this month. I cannot wait to read it. I loved the first book. I am really, really looking forward to this one. It's going to be fantastic. So, as I was just saying, excuse me, there are 3 other books I'm adding to this TBR. Outside of the big read that we are going to be doing in December for the Donna Vandalier books, the Christmas Shoes or the Christmas Hope series that we're going to be reading. These are 3 other books that I plan on reading. Now, I mentioned it in my weekly wrap-ups over the last few weeks that there's a new challenge that I'm doing called the Connections Challenge, where you pick, essentially you pick a book, and then the next book that you read, it doesn't have to be right after, but they need to follow each other at some point. Like, there can be books in between, but do you know what I'm saying? That, like, if, the first book that you read was The Cat in the Hat, the next book that you would read would be The Cat Who Swallowed a Canary. And the next book you would read might be The Canary in the Fields. I don't know, I'm making up titles. But you know what I mean? So they have to connect either by a word in the title, or the author's name, or the year that they were published. So I've decided that this challenge is going to be a great way to get some of these Harlequin books, and I have a lot of Harlequin books. Again, there's another separate shelf on Goodreads in case you're interested in checking out under my profile. That says Harlequin TBR. It's all the stuff I have to read by Harlequin, published under the Harlequin banner. But these are usually just such very short, quick stories that I thought that they would be perfect for this challenge. And so I've been kind of hunting and picking stories, and I've picked the 3 that I'm going to read in December. I figure 3 a month is really good. I think it's only 10 more months, so I might get 20 or 30 books read, so I think that's fantastic. So the 3 books that I plan on reading, the last book that I am reading for November was published in 2009. So this next book that connects to that one was also published in 2009, and that is The Christmas Present by Tracy Wolff. It is a Harlequin super romance. I hauled this one very recently. It's about 2 lawyers at Christmas time, and hijinks ensue. The next story that I plan on reading is A Snowbound Christmas Cowboy by Amanda Renee. The tie to this one is the word Christmas. This is a Harlequin Western romance, and it's the first book in the Home on the Ranch Montana series. And then the last one for the Connections Challenge for December is going to be Snowbound Wedding Wishes by Louise Allen, Lucy Ashford, and Joanne Fulford. Again, the connection for this one is the word Snowbound. And this is a Harlequin historical Regency story. So that is my TBR for the month of December. Yeah, please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, or are you interested in reading any of these books, or what do you have on your TBR for December? I'd really, really love to know. I think I mentioned this in another video, but I know I talk a lot about challenges on this channel and the different challenges that I like to do. I will be doing a whole video on that during Vlogmas to talk about all the challenges that I am going to be doing in 2018. So if you guys are interested in any of them, you can definitely join in as well, because that would be extra fun. I don't know what it is about reading challenges, but I just absolutely love them. And it really helps me pick things from my TBR, I think. I think that's part of the excitement for me is not just reading the book, but getting to find that perfect book that slots into that perfect category. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.